You know, I started this kind of leaving these messages as a way of trying to help the transgender community in the way of giving information. And I realized that's not really what we need. There's tons of information out there. What we kind of need is something more. We need to answer the questions that people ask, yes, but we need to ask our own questions in order to be able to make people understand what we're talking about, what it is to be us, to be transgender. It's not easy. It's definitely not easy. Um, as a transgender, gender diversity therapist, transgender individual, I can tell you, I have heard it hundreds of times. Hundreds. And I've heard the families hundreds of times. Why? Did I do something wrong? Is there some reason for this to happen? Maybe it's a phase. Oh, they're just confused. They're going to have too many problems. Can you convince them not to? Talk to them, please. They're making a mistake. So many different things. They make so many wrong questions. You know what's the rare ones that I hear? The rare ones I hear are, how can I be of support? What do I need to do? What does the things that they need in order to live and thrive? How can I stand up for them in society? How can I support them against society? How can I make this world, nation, country, city, neighborhood a little better? I don't think someone who's cisgender can ever really understand what it is to be transgender any more than a transgender person can really understand what it is to be cisgender. I mean, I can't imagine it. I can't imagine truly being comfortable with who I am, with what they wanted me to be. I can truly imagine being comfortable with who I am, with who I want to be. So in a way, I guess cisgender and transgender people, they aren't that different. Both are comfortable. Both are okay with who they are. But they can't get along quite often. It's interesting. And of course, cisgender. What? 99.2 or 98.6 or whatever the statistic, depending on what one you look at it, is of individuals being cisgender versus the few of us that are transgendered. So I wonder which one's going to hear which more often. I can tell you I'm tired. I'm the therapist, and I'm tired. It's because I have to hold up myself. I don't have many people to hold me up with me. I could move to a big city, if sure, and that, but then the 80 to 90% of our country that isn't highly supportive won't have someone. My area, I'm it. If I leave, everybody who's here who's transgender is going to suffer. Because I'm the one who's holding up all that's here. But I'm tired. And I'm not tired of what I do. I'm tired of fighting the people who keep telling me they're supportive. Keep saying, be you. Just do it over there. That's always the little asterisk behind it. Just do you over there. I don't want you in my school, my neighborhood, my home, my relationships, my community. You're the ugly little stain or secret. So I'm supportive of you being you, as long as you don't do it in my life. I call that type the bystander. They like to say they're allies, like to say they are accepting, like to say that they are advocates. But really, how many of them are going to just be okay with me being who I am? How many of you are going to actually stand up and say this is not right? Why do they have to fight for the medical services that others get for free? How come the person who has heart defects or is having difficulty with back problems gets the medications or surgeries without question? But this person has to literally die inside before you're willing to help them. You probably think I'm being over dramatic here. Literally die. Really? Yeah. 40 to 41% of us attempt suicide. Attempt. Not think of it. Actually try it. 10 times the national average. We're dying. And people are like, you be you over there. Funny thing is, people say, you're a therapist. What? You're in a good place. You're a role model. There's shows that things are successful. Yay. But how many of me are there? One. How much did I struggle? A lot. I can barely keep a job as a therapist. You're going to say because you're a bad therapist. Really. Usually 28%. It's considered 28% of the people that you treat successfully. The other 73% usually, or 72, yeah, I'm not good at math, are people that you don't help. My treatment success is roughly around 40 to 50%. I tend to be able to help the ones who say, I've been to 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 12 therapists. It just got worse. Can't get better. That's because I see the world differently. But because I see the world differently, people have difficulty with that. It's not see it as in philosophically. It's see it as in gender-wise. 3 times I got fired. First one, I have it written right on the papers that they fired me because I'm gender. He was wearing a skirt, and so it was very uncomfortable to have him in the office. He has breasts. This makes it so that it is very inappropriate, and clients are not wanting to be around someone like that. I could go on. They say, though, is not gender, of course. Even though the papers say it. It's written there, black and white, on the papers they handed me on the walking out. Second place. Fired me because the first place said that I was a problem. Which they didn't check until months after I started. Doing well, they were promoting and encouraging me. And suddenly, I let them know I was transgender. I was hiding at the time. I let them know, and poof, 3 days later, I was fired. Oh, you lied on your resume. We checked it. I had written proof that I didn't lie. They said I was fired. The document I held in front of them said indefinitely suspended. And so I said, no, I wasn't fired. I was indefinitely suspended. Well, we heard differently from your prior person. They fired you. Actually, they actually did it under oath in the courtroom that they indefinitely suspended me and that it was definitely not a firing. Under oath, they said that. And yet, it couldn't be overturned because they wanted to get rid of this. It's a problem. Once they found out, 3 days later, 3 months, I was fine. Doing great. They thought I was doing really great. Nothing but praise. I was transgender. 3 days later, fired. Third place. I don't want to have to hide anymore. So I'm open now. Open entirely. And the third place, they knew who I was. They knew it was she, they. But they made a joke about me. Right in the meeting room. A couple of snickers. I protested. They said I was unprofessional. Shouldn't be holding against me. That conversation, you could basically say that I was being unreasonable, unruly. But the recording I made of that conversation doesn't show that. I had others listen to it without telling them. And they asked, why are they being so sexist? Why are they not noticing that they did something wrong? And I'm like, because I'm transgender. They can't see it because they don't want to see it. They want to see themselves as good. They don't want to deal with this because there's too many problems that follow me. Not that I make. I don't make problems. The problems follow me because I'm transgender. And that is something that is seen as bad innately, automatically. So when you ask yourself, how can I help my son, my daughter, my brother, my sister, my friend, my husband, my wife? First off, make sure you're calling them the right of those. You're seeing them the right of those. It's not about what you say, it's about what you think about them. Because what you think is what's going to influence everything you do. And you'll think you're doing the right thing by encouraging this, promoting that, pushing away from this. But all you're doing is the bystander effect. Oh, you be who you are, just over there. Not here. No, never here. What you can do is actually make a difference for that person. Be the one to stand up, the one to stand out, the one to stand supported. Listen to them, accept them. Don't contradict them. Because contradiction is what causes all this. Trying to impose the cisgender viewpoint on a transgender individual. I have yet to have tried to convince a transgender individual. I have yet to have tried to convince a cisgender individual that they're not cisgender. So how come all the cisgender people keep trying to convince me I'm not transgender. I've yet to have told a man or a woman, you're not a man or a woman, when they tell me so. So how come I have all these other people doing it to me? How come when I go into the Y and I say, can I have a locker room to change in, they say, oh, we'll consider this. And then not say a single thing about it afterwards. So if you want to know how to support us, change the way you think. Change the way you see. Then change the way you talk. Change the way you act. Change the way you feel. Thank you.